Welcome to all you need to know about the Mercedes-Benz EQA. My name is Martin Lee. Welcome to the show, where there was a huge amount of anticipation in advance of the Mercedes-Benz launch of the EQC. That was their first major electric vehicle. It was big, powerful and luxurious and expensive. But the show must go on, and Mercedes are continuing their electric journey with a smaller and less expensive EQA. Stay tuned for the details. If you like this channel and this show, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Let's start with the design and styling of the Mercedes-Benz EQA. Aesthetically, the EQA is, of course, a very close approximation of a GLA combustion car. The front grille is closed off, and thankfully Mercedes-Benz took the time to finish it with a nice gloss panel. Light bars stretch across the front and back to give it an updated look and slightly differentiate it from its combustion sibling. The EQA has a haunched stance with flared wheel arches, looking much bigger than it actually is. Now, fans of the Mercedes crossover styling will not be disappointed. And it may not be everyone's cup of tea, but for those that were walking into a Mercedes showroom thinking of maybe a GLA, not sure what to go for, this is not an outrageously styled EV that would turn them off at first glance. Let's head inside the cabin, where Mercedes-Benz are nearly always at their best. The Mercedes-Benz User Experience, or MBUX system, looks like one elongated screen stretching across the width of the dash from the window to the centre of the car. But it's actually two different 10.25-inch screens. One has a typical information set up for driving, like speed and distance covered. The other is the infotainment system. And interestingly, you're not limited to using the touchscreen. You can also use a mouse trackpad that's located down on the centre console. Another really cool feature is you can activate the system by simply saying, "Hey Mercedes." It'll be interesting to see how the voice recognition pans out in the real world. It doesn't always work as ideally as they plan with the various accents we all use around the world. You'll also get a heads-up display that sits discreetly at the base of the windscreen, showing you the speed, your battery consumption, and even the current speed limit of the road you're on. Now, the higher seating position gives you a good view of the road ahead, and couple that with generous-sized windows, and the EQA makes sure that visibility is uncompromised. So let's put some numbers to the EQA. Well, we'll start with the wheels. The car comes with 18-inch alloys as standard, but if you want to move up a spec level to 19s or even 20-inch wheels on the premium. And internal space, starting with that frunk under the bonnet or the hood. What do you get for your money? Well, unfortunately nothing. Remember, this is a GLA. The engine's been swapped out and the electric motor and accessories have been dropped in. It's one of the downsides of a car that is, in a way, an afterthought as being electric rather than being a ground-up EV on a dedicated platform. The news from the back, the boot, the trunk isn't great either. Only 340 litres to fit your shopping bags into, and to give you some context, the very small city car, the stylish Peugeot E208, well, that only has 29 fewer litres of storage space. Another downside of forcing the batteries into a combustion platform is that the floor is then raised, and passengers in the rear can feel that their legs raise a little too high, although there's still decent leg and headroom available in the back. You might be thinking, it's looking pretty slick inside, but what's it like on the roads? Well, the EQA is not meant to be thought of as a sporty car. Mercedes have put a 140 kilowatt motor in. That gives you 190 horsepower. 0 to 62 miles an hour, or 0 to 100 Ks, is 8.9 seconds. It's delivered through the front wheels. It's quite unflattering. For context, that's identical to the time of the little Fiat 500e. It's more than a second slower than a Kia e-Soul, or Soul EV. It's called different things around the world. But you're probably not buying the EQA for a drag race, so we'll forgive them some lethargy off the line. Now, we're keeping our fingers crossed for the AMG version of the EQ sub-brand. That will definitely bolster horsepower above the 400 horsepower mark, but we're not expecting it anytime soon. Let's talk about range and battery, the conversation that all of us EV fans love to have. The EQA is equipped with a 66.5 kilowatt-hour battery. It has a WLTP range of 255 miles, just over 400 kilometers. Of course, that's optimistic in real-world conditions. If you are driving in cold temperatures at high speeds with elevation, it does knock that down pretty quickly. Thankfully, Mercedes claim they're fitting a heat pump, and that will reuse the waste heat from the drivetrain. For those of us that do live in climates that can get a bit colder, that's a very welcome addition to help with winter range. And Mercedes-Benz, to their credit, are working on making the charging experience as easy as possible. The EQA comes with the Mercedes MeCharge card. So with just one card, they've done deals with 175,000 public charge points across Europe, almost 500,000 globally. You pull up, you swipe, and you plug in. Charging speeds, although not impressive, probably what you'd expect from a premium brand. On AC power, it'll take 11 kilowatts, that's pretty good, although most home chargers on single phase will give around 7 anyway. On DC fast charging, the EQA will take up to 100 kilowatts. It'll charge from 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. Now the price. Well, in comparison to its big brother car, the EQC at least, it's more reasonable. Now, it's hard to give prices for all around the world. This channel is watched globally, but certainly here in the UK, it's around £40,000, but we have 20% VAT that tax might not apply to you. That's in comparison to the likely cost of a Model Y, which is around £5,000 more expensive, but, you know, much higher specs according to what you may value in terms of range and speed. It's similar to perhaps a Kia e-Niro, but prices are constantly changing, so check with your local pricing. However, if you plump for the top spec versions of the EQA, well then you definitely start to get into premium money. It's a big decision to make. So in summary, who's going to buy the EQA? There's very stiff competition in this crossover SUV segment from the likes of the Nissan Ariya, that's coming in 2021, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 coming at the end of the year, already out the Ford Mustang Mach-E, and the Tesla Model Y coming to more parts of the world over the year. The Mercedes is probably going to lose in a game of top trumps in outright power, speed, boot space, and possibly even price. But Mercedes has something that many others don't. That sense of history and German-manufactured luxury and love for the brand. Was the buyer of a diesel GLA ever going to switch to a Tesla? Well, maybe. Maybe not. Possibly they'll walk into the Mercedes showroom and buy this, the Mercedes-Benz EQA. Thank you so much for watching today. We'd love to know what you think of this vehicle in the comments below. We love to continue the conversation, so leave us a comment and let us know what you think. If you had 50 grand burning a hole in your pocket, what would you buy? This or something else? And what do you think about the specs of the EQA, the acceleration, the boot space? Is it enough? We'd like to hear from you. And remember, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up so we know to make more just like it. And we'll see you on the next one.